Chapter 2 is an important chapter for everybody involved. So I don't care what your track is. We need to kind of come up with the ground rules, if you will, what we're going to talk about. Let's have some common agreement on what the terms of business intelligence, data warehousing refer to. So that's what Chapter 2 is all about. It's kind of a crash course in business intelligence and data warehousing, terms, techniques, ideas, concepts, etc. Right? All right, so we'll talk about what is business intelligence. We'll talk about using SQL Server with BI, business intelligence. We have to talk about OLTP and OLAP. We have to talk about that all-important decision. Where does the data warehouse fit in the enterprise? Does it get a separate server? What does it run on? What types of data warehouses are there? So we're going to talk about multidimensional databases, data mining, what is analysis services, and we'll close with some of the new features in SSAS 2008. Okay, so there's actually a lot of stuff here, so we're going to run into a couple of videos that are quite long. I'll just go ahead and tell you, it's just easier sometimes to make longer videos because they're all tied together, like there's not an easy break point. I try to keep my videos in the 10-ish to 15-ish minute range because I think that's the attention span of somebody watching a video at a computer. Sometimes it's going to exceed that in this chapter. Okay, so I'll just go ahead and tell you, I mean, it's just going to be times. The more I talk, the longer it goes. All right, I'll quit. So this is for everybody, right? Everybody needs to know this. Doesn't matter what aspect that you run along this. So by the end of this chapter, you're going to know what business intelligence is, how we work with business intelligence in the SQL Server world, why we need a data warehouse, what a data warehouse does, some of the common terms that data warehousing professionals will use, some of the techniques for loading data warehouses, working with data warehouses, and understand where analysis services fits into the equation. Okay? You can skip this chapter if you already know those key points, right? If you're already an SSAS professional, maybe isn't the place for you. If you already know why you would use an OLAP database versus an OLTP database, for example, you might want to gloss over some of the videos. Okay? If you already know about designing multidimensional databases, if you have a good understanding of a measure group, how to design fact tables, this probably isn't the chapter. At least the first part of it is probably a little pedantic for you. This is an entire lecture, like this whole chapter. There's no demos. It's all terms, techniques, and concepts. Okay. If you do skip it, let me give you an idea. Chapter 3 is about installing SSAS. It is technically in the system administrators track, but if you don't have it installed right, you might want to do it. Chapter 4 is now about working with multidimensional databases. So it's very common for people to go from chapter 2 to chapter 4. So if you're a BI architect, for example, or an analyst or a user, you might not care about the administration side, the installation, understanding how many CPUs that we need, right? That may not matter to you, but you may want to understand more about multidimensional, and you'd go on to chapter 4. So short introduction, let's just jump into it. We do have somewhat of a lot of stuff to talk about here, so I'll see you in the next video.